Welcome to the Horror Ghoulies podcast. It's gonna be a real spooker.
That was great. That was perfect. Good job.
First
GG.
intro.
I love that so much.
Need to work
Steve
on
and I
that
were
a
like
little
trying
bit.
not to laugh the whole time.
That was perfect.
That was fantastic.
I'm your host Mitch with
I'm Rebel.
I'm Stevie.
and the Horror Ghoulies podcast.
You
Today we're doing an episode on Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and to say the least, it was not very good.
It was interesting, that's for sure.
Stevie's fault. Stevie's recommendation.
It really was. We
It was,
blame
actually,
yeah, it's your
wasn't
fault
it?
for
I
this.
forgot about that.
Yes.
Ooh, good start. Good start.
But first, we're going to start off by asking each other what our favorite scary movie is. So, Stevie, what's your favorite scary movie?
So I actually realized that I have a few. So first of all, I really like Scream. It's just like a total classic, fun movie that I have to watch every spooky season. But like favorite horror movie, like or scary movie or whatever, I guess I really enjoyed The Black Phone. Was really
Okay.
good. That was such a vibe the whole movie. Good ending.
Yeah.
I was screaming in my seat. It was great.
Ethan Hawke is such a good villain.
Oh, he was so good in that whole movie, dude. Rebel, what is your favorite horror movie?
American Psycho. For sure. Hands down.
Yes.
And why is that?
He kills a lot of people. Is there anything else you need to say?
I think I've never seen
I love
the movie.
rewatching it. You
I've
haven't?
seen
Oh my
Psycho,
goodness.
but I've never seen American Psycho.
We haven't seen each other's
The
favorite
Offense.
movie. What is wrong with that? The Offense.
Right.
No, I think the reason I like it the most is every time you watch it, there's something new you pick up on. Mitch, what's your favorite scary movie?
Well, there's a couple things. The Exorcist is one of the best, scariest movies I've ever seen in my entire life. But my favorite scary movie is none other than Mandy, starring Nick Cage.
Hell yeah, though.
Has one of the
No
best
shock there.
scenes in all of cinema. I will say that till the day I die.
Yeah, I've not seen that whole movie
Something
through, but I've
about-
seen that
Something about
scene.
Nick Cage
I have not.
chugging vodka. He's screaming. It's great.
In his
I
underwear.
have not
It's the
seen
best
it.
thing you can
In
imagine.
his
We're adding
underwear,
that
yeah.
to the list.
Anytime
as well.
anyone talks about Mandy, like
love
that
that.
scene pops into my head immediately.
Yeah.
None of us have watched each other's favorite movie.
We definitely need
Not
to be
really.
doing that here.
Not us.
That's awesome.
We need to be doing better. My goodness.
We're terrible friends. I don't even know you guys.
Yeah. Horrible. Just awful.
Should we get into the movie?
Let's get into this. I don't even know where to start on it.
Disaster.
It's a disaster.
It's a flaming garbage fire.
I almost hate to call it a disaster.
What's the word to describe this movie?
Shouldn't have been made.
Dumpster fire.
I didn't
That too,
think
Mitchell.
it was as bad as it was gonna be.
Honestly,
I
it
really
wasn't as
didn't.
bad as I thought. I had fun watching it with you guys.
If I would have watched it like by myself, I probably would have turned it off or at least questioned why I was watching it for sure. Definitely.
I don't think I would have finished it without you guys.
Oh, I would say if you're gonna watch it with friends and watch it with lots of alcohol.
Or like
We
we
not have alcohol.
Make a
involved,
whatever
drinking
you
game
need.
out of it. That would be fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
make a
Yeah.
drinking
illicit
game out of
drugs
it.
and lots of alcohol.
Yeah.
Every time Pooh swings, take a
it a
shot.
little
It'd be
easier for you.
fun.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Who are we? Who produced this movie? Who did what in it?
So the mastermind behind this movie is Rise Frake Waterfield. Directed, produced, and wrote this movie.
When you first were talking about the movie, Mitch, you were saying how like bad the acting was, and after watching it, I don't think the acting was bad. I think the script was bad.
You can't deliver
I think
lines
the acting
that bad.
you can't. Yeah, if you're given nothing, there's not much you can do.
True.
I think they did well with what they worked with. I'm not saying they're great. I'm not saying because the acting started out above mid a little bit. I was like, okay, and it went downhill from there. I will admit, but I think you can only work with what you're given, and they worked with it well.
Okay, let's just get into the cast.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so we got Nikolai Leon as Christopher Robin, Maria Taylor as Maria. That's weird.
The final girl who ended up not being the final girl.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. We need a little button.
We got Natasha Rose Mills as Jessica, aka Glasses Girls.
Therapist.
The glasses girl. Therapist, yeah.
Amber Duig Thorne as Alice.
Oh, so that was
Lesbian Sporty Spice, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Stevie came up with her own names for the lesbian couple.
Yeah, that's one thing that the movie was really bad at, is they'd
say each other's names like maybe once or twice.
No character development at all.
Yeah, there's no character development.
And they're all shitty people.
And they wouldn't...
Sorry.
Yeah, and they wouldn't...
Just like,
but when you have zero character development, I don't know, yeah. So then, throughout the movie, Stevie was making up names.
Because I couldn't remember their names because there was no character to
they would name the
attach the
halfway
names
through
to.
the movie. They didn't even name the characters. So
not till the
end.
In
my notes, I don't think I have any names. They're just random names like Glasses Girl.
Yeah.
Lesbians.
Yeah, right.
But, okay, so then we have Danielle Renaud as Zoe, the other lesbian.
Lesbian Cher.
Natasha Tozzini as Laura.
Big titty pick-me girl.
The big titty girl. Just like constantly like showing off her titties.
And those weren't even the ones we got to see. Of all those I wanted to see.
We only got to see one pair of titties, and it was just like so random.
We kind of got to see like some nip through the shirt for a second.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
And then Paula Coys as Mary. That's Christopher Robin's whatever fiance or whatever.
That's another thing. Like he says, like it says it was fiance because like they weren't married yet, but then later he's like my wife, and it's like okay.
Yeah.
There was a lot of inconsistencies in the story.
Like the origin.
Sure. Yeah.
They contradicted the origin like the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was awful.
And then we have May Kelly as Tina. She's the girl that got
the ginger with the titties
shirt ripped off randomly.
Tina. Okay. See, they didn't even name her. They named her once after she was dead.
No.
And then we have Danielle Scott as Charlene. I think she was we'll get into it, but she's the random lady that shows up in the chains or whatever.
Yeah.
Then we have Craig David Dowsett as Winnie the Pooh. Oh, he's actually pretty good looking.
I want to see.
And then we got Chris Cordell as Piglet / Stalker. He was the Stalker. That's weird.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it. That's like the main cast. So yeah, we got that. And then so this movie did not do good critically.
Oh man. Wonder why.
It's got a 3% critic score on Rotten Tomato, a 50% audience score on Rotten Tomato, a 2.9 IMDb, and a 1.2 score on Letterboxd.
What would you guys give it? You know my 10%. What would you guys give it?
Ooh. Are we giving percentages or?
However you want to. You can give like 1 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it Ghoulies.
Oh, I like that.
I'm giving Ghoulies.
What, out of 5? Out of 5 Ghoulies?
Out of 5 Ghoulies.
Are we giving scores right now or?
Oh, whenever you want to.
All right, let's do it right now. What's yours, Stevie?
All right, I'll go with like a 0.1% ghoulie.
0.1.
Like,
it didn't even get a full ghoulie.
No.
How? No.
I don't know. So that'd be 0.5 ghoulie.
I mean, can we give it no ghoulies? Can we give it no ghoulies?
Yeah, I like that.
You guys are gonna hate me. I'm gonna give it like a 2.5 ghoulies.
Wow, out of 5?
Out of 5, yes.
Okay.
I want some reasoning.
Okay. I enjoyed watching it. I'm not saying it was good, because it wasn't, but I really enjoyed. I think it was entertaining. Would I watch it again if I was getting other people to watch it? But I'm not gonna like sit there and enjoy it by myself. But I really liked like the whole movie, like the backgrounds, the backdrops. It was very aesthetically pleasing. Like they put a lot of money and effort Like Stevie was talking about the deck in the
Yeah,
in the
Winnie the Pooh can be a carpenter. Easy.
Oh yeah.
I'm telling you,
Winnie
they
the
built
Pooh's
a nice
house.
deck, a nice little fire pit going on there. I couldn't help
They
looking
did.
at that whole scene. I didn't give a shit what was going on.
Everything in the movie was very aesthetically pleasing. The lighting was really good. I was thinking when the scene with the therapist, she's laying on the couch and they have like the fluffy blanket, and they really paid attention to details like that. But then other details that like the light, they were just like, or like how how did they get electricity?
Some of the transitions were so bad.
And the transitions were really bad, but like the actual background was very aesthetic. Like whoever did the background stuff and did the lighting, perfect. Like I really enjoyed that. But if that's the only part that I can say I enjoyed about the movie, that's kind of sad. I definitely think it's one of those when you like go, like if you're hanging with friends and like, I don't know what to do, and you're like, let's watch this movie, it's super stupid.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those, and I think because of that, that's why I gave it an extra, the half.
I have a lot of opinions on this movie.
Should we just get right into the plot then, or do you guys want to?
What plot?
I think
there was no plot.
That's a good question. That's
the lack of plot, character development, and like we did not get attached to anybody. It was a pointless movie.
No. They could have very much so Christopher Robin could have been the center, but he wasn't. Even though he made it through the whole movie.
I wish he had been.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was not in it.
I would much rather have followed him. Even him, like, the thing is, like, we grew up with these characters, and they gave us no aspects of the characters. Like, they just used their faces. This movie would have been better if it was anybody else. But, like, they should have, other than, like, Pooh with the weird honey thing going on, you know?
That was
like,
so weird.
Yeah, that was
the only thing. We didn't even get to meet any other characters. But, like... God, I lost my train of thought. I don't know. It was just shit. What are you talking about?
She's so worked up.
My brain just reset real quick.
I really liked the intro, how they introduced the characters, how it was like a drawing, and they come in, and they're like, that was cool. So good. That caught the attention.
That animator
cool.
did great.
They did really good. But then the rest of the movie did not follow what the animator did and talked it. Like, I feel like if I was the animator, I'd be kind of pissed.
They just felt bad scrapping all the effort. So they had to use it.
Almost.
And then halfway through, they just changed up the script or something. Like, they did not follow that origin at all.
I was thinking this. I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but I'm not going to say anything super spoily. But when, at the very end, with Pooh and they like put him in that big scene, all I could think about was like they had to get Christopher Robin out so Christopher Robin could be in this scene. It was like they they were like, oh, I want this to happen, but in order for this to happen, we have to have this and this. So they like work backwards.
Yeah.
And creating it, and like it didn't flow right.
Felt rushed.
Because they were forcing a scene. They're like, oh, we want, Pooh to get crushed by a car. It's like, okay, so how do we do that? And then they did it. Instead of letting the story kind of flow and be like, okay, this is what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So it starts out, they introduce in the art style, which we all I think agreed we loved. Owl, Rabbit, Eeyore, Piglet, Winnie the Pooh. They're, all best buds. Christopher Robin comes in, finds them. But then it talks about how he leaves for college to go be a doctor. Good for him.
You think he would have been smarter?
Yeah, you'd think. This whole thing, like, he would have been like, I did it to help people, and he didn't, which kind of pissed me off, but whatever. Like, he never gave a reason for his leaving, and that's probably why Pooh was so pissed.
So then they starve, and they end up. Pooh makes the decision.
I don't know if you can see
Eeyore.
this, but I wrote they ate Eeyore in all caps because it very much. Eeyore was like, I loved Eeyore as a kid. I don't know if that says anything about my childhood, but I adored Eeyore. Like, I loved Eeyore, and the fact that they killed him off.
Like, we didn't even get to see him.
He wasn't even.
I wanted to
No,
see
we
that
didn't even
mask
get to-
so
They didn't
bad.
show any of the other characters.
They didn't even talk about
Yeah.
Rabbit and Owl,
No.
did they?
No.
Something to
So why'd they even bring them in the front? That's what makes me think that this person like made this, and then they realized they didn't have a budget. Are you raising your hand?
Sequel. They're going to be in the sequel with
Sequel,
Kanga and Rue.
Tigger.
Yeah.
Taker.
Ooh, Kanga and Roo, yeah.
That's
Yeah, they
right.
didn't even
I forgot about
introduce
Kanga.
Tigger. Like, he's like the main one.
Right.
Anyways, after they eat Eeyore,
Yes.
after they eat Eeyore,
Yeah.
it cuts to like.
Oh, they make a pact where they don't talk. That's like
Oh
key in the
yeah,
movie.
they make a pact. Yeah, right.
Because
Then
they're
it
gonna be
cuts to 5 years
wild now.
later.
They're rabid.
Yeah, they're rabid now.
Mhm.
Since they had to eat Eeyore, they're pissed.
Yeah.
They're evil.
And they have a deep hatred for Christopher Robin.
5 years later, Christopher Robin and his girlfriend are walking through the woods trying to find Pooh and his friends. And Mary, his girlfriend or
A fiance, I think, is what because
Fiancé,
because he's like
wife.
because they were wearing
Contradictive.
rings, and he said you're gonna be the future Christopher Robin because we're the future Mary and Christopher Robin.
Oh
or something.
yeah, so fiance.
So fiance, yeah.
So they're trying to find Pooh, and she's like questioning whether they're real or not, whatever.
I did have a question. They were walking in the woods for a long time because she's like, "That's what you said 2 hours ago," and he's like, "We're almost there." If he had to walk that far, how did he get there as a child?
I don't know.
Like they make
Like, how
it
did
in
he
the
get home for
intro.
dinner?
I
Yeah,
have
in the
one.
intro they make it seem.
What did these parents think when enough food for like 6 people were going missing every night?
Yeah.
They have one child,
Like enough to feed a bear and a pig and
Yeah.
like a fucking
a donkey, and yeah,
What?
it's like at
A
least 6
rabbit,
people. Like, yeah, there are more characters than those
They must
5
have been
in
real
the woods.
poor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Our kid's hungry as shit,
So,
making
like,
like
I
8
feel like-
grilled cheese sandwiches in the middle of the night.
Well, yeah. Okay, so then they're like walking through the woods. They hear a noise, and they run to like the place where Pooh and Piglet reside, and it's all worn down, and you can see the like shitty little sign in the background that says Eeyore Rip or whatever.
Yeah, like they
With
just
this like
buried him
tail
right
attached
there.
to it. It's like a cardboard sign. Like
And
They
a
don't-
skull,
you
a
don't even
human
mention
skull
it.
sitting right in front of it.
yeah,
And she
That's
walks
not
right by.
us.
She like looks at it and just walks right by. She's like, "Oh,
like something's not right here. What happened? They don't even say anything about Eeyore. Like what the fuck?
yeah." This is the scene that the acting really starts going downhill because it starts raining.
2 minutes
and they're,
into
like,
the
trying to be
film.
dramatic.
We're not even that far.
Right. So Mary's all like freaked out, and they like go inside Pooh's house, and then Pooh comes in. They hear Pooh coming in the house, so they hide.
I do want to add, Mary like picks up a photo, and and you can tell there's like blood on it or something. And she's like, "Is this you?" And he's like, "Yeah. Why would they do that?" Like, it should have been like a building scene, but they didn't show the picture, so it didn't build anything for us because like you don't even remember the scene happening.
I really wanted to know
Yeah,
like
yeah.
what was wrong with the picture, other than it was like a little crispy
Yeah.
at the edges.
Yeah, it was like a little crispy, and like he was like, "Why would they do this?" And then like they
What
never
did
showed
they
the
do?
picture. What was it? What did they do? Like it was
God.
like they did something to the photo, but we don't know what they
Yeah.
did.
So then they like hide because they hear.
Oh
Pooh
yeah, because then
come,
they hear Pooh. Yeah.
and Pooh just comes in and like falls asleep, and then they hide there for like hours. Then it transitions.
That
to night.
cutscene. That cutscene was fantastic.
It
That,
just
that
goes
little
dark.
transition.
Yeah,
And
but
they're
like
just, like supposedly hiding in the house, like crouching for like hours on end.
you know, this is a little bit random, but one thing, anybody who like listens to us rant about this movie right now, if you ever actually want to watch this film, let's play a drinking game. Literally take a shot for every plot hole in this movie. Good night.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yes. Or every cliche, because it has every
Oh.
single horror
Yeah.
cliche that
Honestly.
is in existence, is here.
So then they leave the house, and then like Piglet comes up behind Mary, and just like strangles her,
chokes her out, man, with that
chokes
chain.
her with his chain, yeah. And Christopher Robin's just being a little bitch, like he just
He's like, Piglet,
throws him to the ground, and he's like, Piglet, stop, Piglet, stop.
I will say,
please, what are you doing?
That's exactly what he
Does not attempt to help his
He
girlfriend.
doesn't do anything. He doesn't even try to stop him.
No.
He just sits there and
He's
just
just
yells
gonna
at him
sit
like,
there
I
and
will
cry.
say,
stop it. Like, what
I
are you
did like the
doing?
part where Pooh comes out at this point, and Christopher is like, Pooh, something's wrong with Piglet. Come save, you need to help us. Like, he's hurt, what's wrong?
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah,
then-
yeah.
And then Pooh, he does something that makes Christopher be like, oh shit, he's rabid too, or whatever. So I liked that part. I felt like that, if the movie had more parts like that were more character building, it could have been good. It could have been good. I mean, as far as a Pooh Bear movie, as far as a Pooh Bear horror movie could be, it could have been a lot better.
So then Mary dies. Rip.
Yeah.
Mary. And then it cuts back to the cartoon.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I
We
liked
get the
this part.
opening
I really
sequence.
liked this part.
And then the cool
Yeah.
animation.
The drawing.
Who,
Yeah, I really liked that part.
grabs, drags Christopher Robin into the cave
See,
or whatever.
Yeah, and that's another thing. They show
But then-
in the
but-
drawings they show it as a cave, but I guess it's the house or the shed.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it would be.
It almost
Wherever
that's
they show him later on.
Yeah, that's another sign to me that it looks like the drawings and the movie were done on two separate occasions. They weren't done
Yeah.
cohesively. It was they were like, oh, this drawing's really good. We like this animation, but we completely changed the movie, but we don't want to get rid of it, so we're gonna put it in.
Yeah, and that's the last time we see the animation too. They don't show it.
Yeah, and if they would have
Even when they have a flashback of Christopher Robin when he was little, it's not.
yeah, they could have kept it up so well.
They didn't
and,
have to pay
made
that
it-
child actor. They could have just
Yeah.
continued to pay
Yeah.
the animator.
They could have just.
Yeah,
The animator
Yeah.
did such a good job.
exactly.
Yeah. So then, they drag him into the cave, and then there's is that Eeyore that they're roasting or whatever? They show
See,
him
I don't
the
know.
dead
I thought
body
it
of
was for Robin.
It looked
I
like a
thought it
human
was Eeyore,
ass
but-
up in a fire.
Yeah,
But then Eeyore is in the grave, they
Yeah.
show Eeyore's grave, so I guess they kept his bones out and just
yeah, and that's one thing about the animation is it was almost like they wanted to cut it real quick, so you don't get to really experience the animation,
yeah.
and so I don't know what it was trying. I wish it was slowed down a little bit so you could actually see what was being drawn, because I feel the artist deserved that
Yeah.
because it was really good.
Yeah. So then the animation ends, and then the intro title card, and then it just goes to all these clippings and stuff, which doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense because if there was news about wild animals killing people, why would Christopher
Yeah.
Robin bring his friend, his fiance, into the fucking woods? You know what I mean?
It's almost like it happened after Christopher Robin coming triggered them to kill everyone. That's how I took it. And then all these killings started happening, but they kept repeating the same lines. So it was almost oh, only one killing or two killings happened, but they were trying to make it seem like a bunch happened.
Thing. So then it cuts to Maria in the therapy
Mhm.
thing, and she's talking about her stalker.
Little backstory given on a character that we don't give a shit about.
Yeah, because we don't know who this person is.
Right.
And the therapist is you should go for a weekend away.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
the way the therapist described it, it sounded to me you should take a break and go by yourself and just have a relaxing weekend, And so she brings 6 girls with her that they all have nothing in common, in my opinion.
Yeah. That was a weird.
I don't even know
very
how they're friends.
unlikely bunch.
They don't seem to like each other.
Nope.
Right.
Yeah.
We didn't even
Yeah.
need the stalker. That was
Yeah,
No.
completely
they don't do
fruitless.
anything with it.
They were we need a reason why they're in the woods, but
Maybe just let's rent an Airbnb and have a girls' weekend away.
because that's what they did.
That's what they did. Yeah.
Also,
Pointless.
Tina the redhead was completely useless, I think.
They just wanted to
Yeah.
stuff somebody in a
kill a redhead.
shredder.
Yeah.
They just wanted to kill a redhead. They wanted to add another
yeah.
cliche.
Yeah.
that's in horror movies.
And rip her
to
shirt
your
off
horror movie.
for no reason.
That was so random. Okay.
You know what would be funny, guys? What if Pooh
Yeah.
It's a horror movie.
oops,
It needs
ripped
some
her shirt
titties.
off? Okay.
We missed the part. We missed the part of the gas station. And then these two random people that aren't even involved in the movie like come in like, oh, we're gonna go buy gas. What was that
Yeah,
about?
That was weird. Yeah, I wonder if they were friends of like the gas station attendant or something.
Well, she was
Like,
she had like a fancy purse and like
yeah,
they looked like they were just like traveling for a Sunday or
it was
something.
like
I don't know.
completely run down.
It was like
She
completely
walks
run down. Like
inside. She's
yeah.
like, hello, and then some random person shows up, and then she's like, can I get some gas? And he's like,
No, go 2 miles up.
Are you a fucking
no,
idiot?
like, obviously the fucking gas doesn't work. Like,
I haven't
fucking,
worked in years.
look at it. It doesn't work.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be a scene where they were gonna like warn her and be like, "There's some killings going on," and she'd be like, "Oh, we're fine. We're going to stay in this cabin." But it wasn't even that. He was just like, "Oh, sorry, I was out back. I couldn't hear you." And like, she's like in this abandoned gas station for no reason.
Yeah. So then they get to the house, and then they take all their phones away or whatever, and Laura's being all crappy about it. So they get
She
rid
was
of their
interesting.
phones when their last friend's not there. So
Yeah,
then when the
'cause
friend
that's
tries
smart.
to call, she can't get a hold of him.
I didn't even
Like,
realize that. That's some dumb ass
they didn't even
shit.
try to call her. Like, what the fuck?
That.
Oh my god.
But then what gets me? So she's in the middle of the road, and it says 100-acre woods, and she's calling. She's like, So she's in the middle of the road, da da da, and then it just cuts, and she's in the middle of the woods, and she turns and Pooh's there.
Yeah, and then the best death scene of the whole movie, okay? So Pooh chases her into the fucking barn.
So he went. If you notice, he went. So I don't know how to like explain this because the way the angle is weird. So the way he walked, he would have been behind her. So then she comes up where she should have been facing him, but then she has to turn around. So he somehow like ran around the thing, I guess, but there wasn't enough time to do that. Like the placement was wrong.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah. And she's hiding right. Like, why would you hide by a wood chipper?
I love how she was fighting him to get in the wood chipper. And so he's like, okay, I'll just bash your head with the wood chipper. You're not going to die from the wood chipper. You're going to die from the wood chipper.
But you forget the part where he randomly, like, ripped her shirt off for no entire, like, reason at all. But there's, like, those were the only titties in the entire movie, too. Like, I could see if he, like, ripped like, if he had a fetish, he was, like, ripping the shirts off all these girls. But, like, he just does it once and that's it. Like,
and like the look he gets when he does it is the weirdest thing. Did you all see his face when he did? Like it was intentional.
I did not see his face. I was not
100%.
paying attention. I was too busy looking at the
yeah.
naked woman. I'm gonna be honest. I was like,
Such a weird
they really
detail
did that.
Yeah. I was like,
This movie is absurd. Like
Stevie was,
people are probably
Stevie was
listening
looking
to
at the
us.
titties and I was looking at anything else.
I'll be honest. No, like this
Oh, yeah.
whole movie, just like people are probably listening to this. Like this is chaotic. I don't know what's going on. We don't know
Yeah.
what's going on. We watched the movie.
Yeah.
It's a shit show.
The blood
put it-
graphics are awful.
Yeah, I put in my notes as she was going through the wood chippers. Stevie says, "Graphics. Oh no!"
I love it.
Just a bunch of
It's like-
CGI blood just like pouring from
It's
this fucking
pouring,
wood chipper.
But like it's not hitting anything. It's just like there. Like,
I love that then it cuts to
Sitting.
the random scene of the pygmy girl dancing in her bra. The Laura.
Yeah.
the
But,
bikini.
but
Oh
first
wait, it was
it goes
the bra,
to the
wasn't it?
lesbian couple.
Oh yes, the
The
lesbian,
couple with
We-
the roses all over the room, and she was like, "It's too soon for this." Like, but they don't
Yeah,
explain
That
like,
was
what she's
pointless
saying,
as
like,
well.
That was so stupid.
She looks way too much like Maria because I thought it was Maria.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's Maria. Like, that's why it's too soon because, like, I was just trying to find a reason. And there's literally no reason.
Yeah, I couldn't tell any of them apart very well, honestly, the whole time. That's
And,
why
like,
I had to like
it's probably bad.
associate them with celebrities. I was like, you kind of look like Cher. You kind of look like Sporty Spice. Like the whole movie. I didn't know who was who.
Well, and like another thing, their whole character was being a lesbian. Both of them.
Yeah.
That was their whole
That's their whole character.
personality.
Like,
That's why
it
we're
might be
referring
bad
to
because
them as lesbians.
that's
'cause,
why
like,
we're referring to them
that
as
was
the
literally
lesbian
their
couple.
only character trait.
That was
Yes.
their character trait, and that's awful. I really hated that so much. But
Yeah.
they had zero character trait except being the lesbians.
They gave us no shining like woman power moment either. Like we're watching this movie about all these women getting like horrifically murdered, and there was no empowering moment where like the woman overcame.
No.
Period.
Yeah, they all just die.
The one
Like,
woman
it's
who
kind of
gets the
misogynistic,
gun
actually.
It's
Like,
very. I agree.
and does nothing
they're
with the
just
gun.
dumb girls who just get murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like oh, we're just gonna kill the dumb blonde kind of thing for every single character. It was definitely male dominated for
Yes,
sure.
I was gonna say it was written by men.
Female input.
Hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like what woman
And like
worked
you
on
could
this
tell that
movie?
in the movie.
But anyways, back to the plot. I wrote Maria was telling friends about Stalker.
I put that she trauma dumped on him. Like it was 100%. They literally sat everyone down and like they sat her down at the forefront. And the one friend that ends up being like a closer friend to her, I guess, Jessica was like, you don't have to do this. Like you could tell they're closer. And, Maria's like, no, my therapist says that I should. And then she just trauma dumps on them. And they're like,
yeah.
Like they didn't even know why they were going out for a weekend. They were just like, oh, we're going to party. And then they're like, oh, that's why you've been acting crazy, because she trauma dumps on them that she had a stalker and that the guy like was in her house and the police could do nothing and all this stuff. But like
they never really elaborated what exactly happened either. She's just like, I was sleeping and he came in and tried to undress me, and then that was
I heard a noise.
Yeah, and like
she's
say,
still
like, how it was
asleep.
resolved.
Yeah. She's like, I heard the noise,
so
and like he was creeping on her. Like
he's like slowly
weird.
pulling her bra down. She wakes up. She screams. Cuts to black. What happened?
And then that was it.
Okay.
Yeah. She was like, they found a bunch of stuff of me on his computer, and I was like, okay, like you went through all of this, like you went through a trial and you went through all this stuff, but like your friends didn't know about it.
Yeah, and I guess he ran away or something. Did he run away because?
Well, they caught him
because they kind of thought Pooh was.
That's true.
At one point.
But
that just shows the inconsistency.
There's so many inconsistencies, and I feel like
it really had nothing to do with it. Like they shouldn't even have put that in.
It was almost like they're like, we don't want it to be a sorority slasher, but it's going to be a sorority slasher, so we need a better storyline. But then they didn't make a better storyline.
Why to get them to the cabin, but then that's dropped, and then they don't talk about it anymore, except for when they see Pooh and they're like, "Oh, it might be your stalker," and then they drop it completely.
Well, that's another thing with when Laura is in the hot tub and she sees Pooh and she's like, "It's the stalker," and then she just goes back to the hot tub.
Yeah,
like it's like they're not good friends.
Yeah, like nobody's there. She's just by herself. Like
so, yeah. After she trauma dumps on them, and they're like, "No wonder that you have just been acting weird," and like that's so scary.
And none of her friends knew about it before they got there. I don't know. It was just
well, the one glasses Jessica said, "This is why I didn't tell you guys, because it wasn't my story to tell." Like she just throws that line in there, like what? So she knew about
randomly
it.
Decides to sit down and tell them all while they're on vacation, like damper the mood.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. I don't need, like most of these scenes. I'm like, why is this in the movie?
Honestly, so much of it was pointless.
But then we'll talk about the next scene, which is they randomly show Pooh riding a bike to make electricity.
Was it Pooh or I thought it was Piglet?
Oh, was it Piglet?
So I thought it was Pooh at first, but then it shows Piglet.
That would make more sense because Pooh is like whipping Chris.
Torturing
that's right.
Chris right now, yes. Yeah, he was begging for his life with the 3 lines that he always uses.
And then they show the flashback of young Chris telling Pooh that he's going to be there forever or whatever. And Pooh like starts crying.
Like, yeah, kind of remembering, but then he decides to be angry.
And then, he starts smashing things.
With Hulk strength.
Pooh like starts smashing things, and then Pooh starts whipping Christopher Robin with whatever the fuck that was.
Hair?
I thought it was hair, but then I thought about it, and I think it was Eeyore's tail.
The nail.
They didn't have
Maybe
a
that was
bow.
like
Makes sense.
the nail in there.
It makes
That's what
sense.
cut
I don't
him.
know.
Because there ain't no
Scraping.
way that hair did that. It was
Yeah,
the nail.
but it looked like a ponytail. It just
Yeah,
looked
it
like
looked
like a
someone
braid.
maybe cut a ponytail off
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
And it was very
But it-
limp. And then he just starts whipping it with it, but it was like there was no like strength behind it.
I like
and
the
then like
Eeyore tail theory.
He had
A
some
lot.
mad strength though when he's fucking bitch slapping people.
That's
It's just
true.
Like,
Bitch slap that
bitch slap
guy's
that
face right
off
off.
later in the movie. Oh
yeah,
my
he'd be
God,
like he'll be
dude.
like slow mo.
He really liked the bitch slap. He bitch
really
slapped that
did. It was
girl
like
too
full-
when he was tying her down
Everybody.
Flat palm.
later in the fucking movie.
I'll say it again. Who has a BDSM kink? I'm gonna repeat it.
In this movie, yeah. Oh yeah, and then they randomly show Mary's skeleton, like
Yeah, he's just
Hey,
like
just props it
here.
up there. Suffer a little bit more.
as Christopher Robin's getting showered in blood for some fucking
blood
reason.
and guts, but we don't know whose
Yeah,
blood
they
and guts
showed
they
like
are.
the intestines or whatever. and stuff
I'm
like that
guessing
in
they're
the, like,
Mary's because she
tub.
looked like
Whatever
she was
the
a
fuck.
skeleton, but she wouldn't have enough time to like decompose. So I think they like skinned her. is
It
what-
looked like they just ripped all the meat off the bones, the way that the meat was still fresh
Yeah.
looking on the carcass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like, oh, she's decomposing. And then you're like, no, that's her guts in the bucket, I think. But like, it doesn't explain it very well.
So then it cuts back to Laura. I wrote Laura being sexy in the hot tub by
I wrote-
herself. She's,
I
like,
wrote
taking
Laura-
pictures of her like big ass
Uh,
titties.
I put Laura does a tease in the hot tub.
Yeah, sending Snapchats to her. Whatever.
And Instagram. And
Right.
Like, yeah.
Whatever the fuck she's doing. Yeah, Instagram. Yeah.
And I knew, I was like, he's going to be in the background of a picture. And she's like going
Yeah.
through her photos, like,
Yeah.
ugly, ugly,
Yeah.
ugly. And she's like, what the fuck? And like zooms in and there's poo.
There's Pooh Bear.
Yeah, and she's just like,
She
that's
thinks
fucking
it's,
weird.
She thinks
He's
it's
like
a
clear as
stalker
day
or
in the
something.
picture too. She's
Yeah.
just like,
yeah. And then she thinks it's a stalker. So she goes and turns on the light.
Which, if you saw a fucking bear guy, like in the back of your fucking picture while you're taking pictures of yourself,
Just
and you
standing
saw
there?
like the fucking Pooh Bear guy
She
in
said,
the back, like
You're not gonna ruin my
half bear,
time
half
or
guy.
something. And gets back.
Yeah,
yeah, and she just
closes
like
her
thinks it's
eyes.
normal, like, oh, it's fine.
Like,
What the fuck? Like, what kind of fucking person? I don't know.
Honestly.
Gets out and then she gets back in.
And closes her eyes.
she was
Fucking-
drinking too much.
Yeah, closes her eyes, and then they come up behind her and chloroform her.
Where'd they
And
get
then-
that? That's what I want to know.
Then Stevie, you can take this part. What happens next?
Ties the
She's
bitch
like-
up in the parking lot. BDSM knots, like fucking. Oh.
They hog tied her. They 100%
They
hog tied her.
hog tie a
Hog tied
bitch.
her,
That's
yeah.
the right words to say. Yeah. And like, I don't even know. Fucking, what was even the point of the sledgehammer? Like, why did Piglet have the sledgehammer ready
I
to
don't-
go when we were
He, like-
planning to run a bitch over?
Why were they driving? Where'd they get the
Like,
car? Whose car was
Yeah.
that?
Whose car was
Whose
that?
car was that? Was that their car? Did they
Oh.
go into town to get groceries and stuff? I don't know.
Yeah, but it wasn't their, like...
We need like a movie where like it just shows like, oh, they should do a prequel where like Pooh.
I don't think...
Wait, so if Pooh knew how to drive, then how the fuck did they starve and have to eat Eeyore?
That's what I'm saying.
Honestly.
They could have just like drove into town and like stole food from someone's house or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they went back
Like-
to these animalistic,
Yeah.
whatever, and decide to eat people and stuff. And it's like you can just break into the houses. You can overpower people.
Yeah.
You can like just
There's
steal
obviously
shit.
people living around there because there's that guy at the gas station
Yeah.
and that couple that like randomly came in and they ran into or whatever. the fuck.
Yeah. I felt like there was a, like, I was looking for, like, maybe there's Easter eggs that I'm missing. Like, maybe rabbits, like, because, like, Eeyore, they never talk about or say, like, oh my gosh, there's Eeyore's grave or anything. You just have to, like, see it in the background. So I was, like, looking for, like, stuff like that, like, to explain, like, why Rabbit and Owl were in there or, like, what happened, anything.
I don't know if that has something to do with the rights or whatever. Because, like, I know that, like, the original Pooh Bear, like, the rights came up on it or whatever. But, like, Disney still owns the, like, the look
The
of
imagery.
the characters.
That's why he wasn't wearing a red shirt.
Yeah. So I don't know if that had anything to do with why Tigger and the other ones weren't in there.
But, like, if you can put Pooh and Piglet in it, and then you could probably put
Yeah,
others,
then why
I
wouldn't
think.
you just be able to make a shitty mask for Tigger and
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've watched part of an interview of him, and he seems like a cool dude. Like, he was very excited about this, but his heart was in it, but I really don't think it met the mark.
No.
I don't know what his goal was for this movie.
I feel like he just wanted to, like, he was just like, oh, this fucking, I can make this movie now because it's in public domain, and I'm gonna make it just because.
Yeah.
Considering that he directed, wrote, and
Just 'cause he
produced, didn't
could.
he? He did
Yeah.
all three? Yeah, so like I think he needed somebody else to jump into the reins on any of those so that they could like notice the flaws, the horrific amount of flaws. He didn't notice them because he was the one writing it. Like, I get it. I write stuff. I go
He
back
didn't have a
months
beta
later.
reader.
I look back. He didn't have a beta reader, and I reread my shit, and I'm like, wow, this is fucking awful.
Yeah.
You fix things. I feel like he did not look back. He didn't give himself the time to like.
Well,
he
wasn't
just
it?
did.
It wasn't it filmed in like 10 days or something?
Yeah, 10 days in England, yeah. So they run over her head.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. We were talking about
I
Laura.
kind of enjoy, like,
Laura.
yeah.
Run over Laura's head.
Yeah.
Piglet holds her down, and Pooh just fucking runs her over. Her eyeball comes out.
Just holding.
And
a
then, did you see it? It kept like bubbling. It kept like bubbling. The blood did.
The graphics.
The
eyeball popping out.
It's horrid. They were trying to like make it a shock value of like, oh, that's gross, and like, it worked, I guess, because we're talking about it, but it was not realistic at all.
Yeah, Maria and the glasses girl.
Jessica,
yeah. Maria and Jessica hear the scream. They go investigate. They find Laura's body. Then they meet up with the lesbians inside the house.
I thought the lesbians found her body.
No,
I'm pretty sure it was
the lesbians
Maria.
heard her scream, right?
I don't know who was at the dock. They all look the same.
Yeah, they all look
I
the
was
same.
convinced it was the lesbians because it looked like romantic, but maybe
that's what I thought too. But then why would it pan to the other two?
I don't know.
Well, somebody finds the body, anyways. One of the two pairs of women finds the body.
I think you're right. I think Jessica and Maria find the body.
Yeah. And then, do you guys remember what the window said? There was like blood.
Get out.
Get out now.
Why would they say get out when they were like
it was 3 words.
planning to murder them anyway?
Yeah. I thought it was funny how they're all like in the house, like looking for weapons, and they were all like holding hands, like running through the house together. I was like, what the fuck? And then Maria just randomly remembers that she has a gun.
It takes her like 20 minutes to remember that at least.
She's like, let's go grab a knife or whatever. And then she's like, 10 minutes later, she's
wait a minute.
Oh, wait a minute. I have a gun. And then she
Where
can't
did I
find
put
the
it?
gun
Where did I
after
put
she
it?
remembers that she has a gun. She can't find it.
Loses it. She just unpacked. How do you forget where it is? You just unpacked it. You haven't been here for 2 hours.
My thing too is she has the gun for protection because she has a stalker. You would know where your gun is. If you have it for protection, to protect yourself.
It was a big ass gun,
you know where that gun is every second of the day.
It was like a huge ass revolver.
Only one bullet in the fucker?
No, so actually there was multiple bullets in the gun.
Did they shoot?
But the gun just gets jammed or something later on.
Yeah, the gun broke.
It jammed is what happened? The clicking was easily, though, the sound of, like, a gun without any bullets in the chamber.
Yeah, but that's later on, though.
Alright, we'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that
on
later.
the back burner.
I'm confused now.
I do want to go back. She was having, like, did you guys notice that? Because they didn't put very much emphasis on it, and I felt like they missed out on a really good opportunity. She was having a panic attack because she thought it was her stalker coming to get her. Okay? And that's when she remembers the gun.
Yeah.
And they were like, it's not your stalker. You have to, like, look at me. It's not your stalker. Jessica's, like, trying, be her therapist self and be like, it's not your stalker. And then the lesbians come up and go, what's wrong with her? And she's like, I don't know. Like, she was literally disassociating and freaking out. But they did not give this scene any justice. Like, it was just like, it seemed like none of them had ever experienced anything remotely or even researched it. And we're just like, that sounds good. She disassociated. And that's why she forgot about the gun. But like she didn't realize that anyone was in there, and like I don't know, it was just. I think that what they were trying to do is that she was having a mental health crisis. She disassociated, and that's why she remembered the gun. But they didn't do it right at all.
Yeah.
And then the lesbians decide.
Yeah, they go into the pool.
They're like, oh my gosh, wasn't she out back? I love this scene so much. Wasn't she out back? And they're like, yeah. And then they're like, she left the back door open.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we don't know if she left the back door open, but they're convinced that she did. And I don't know if they meant open as in the door open or open as in unlocked. Which I could see if they meant unlocked, but they were like, open. She left the back door. I know she left the back door open. I was like, what?
This dumb bitch who's dead.
I have to just take a second to say this is actually a pretty cool house for Airbnb. Like an indoor pool with a hot tub outside. Like what?
I would stay there. I mean,
I would stay there. You don't see many pools inside like that.
It was a weird thing, yeah.
It was probably the director's house.
Then, yeah, but then
couldn't afford to rent a place. Sorry.
The lesbians go into the pool area, and then one of them gets knocked out. I forget what the name of one girl is.
So the one who falls right away is Alice.
Sporty
Spice.
Oh, the one, yeah, that Sporty Spice, yeah.
And then Zoe jumps into the pool, and Piglet is like has a chain and a sledgehammer, right?
This is so weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
and he's
such
like
a weird
toying with her, like trying to catch her with the chain or something. I don't know.
So did he knock out Alice at this point?
Yeah, he just like knocked her out. Yeah, because later they like drag her to the.
It's so weird because some people they kill like immediately, and some people they're like, no, we're gonna drag him back, but they don't really seem to have a reason for who they choose for what. It would make more sense if they would have killed Alice and then taken Zoe. Because he had the opportunity.
They kill her anyways, yeah. But yeah, then Piglet goes into the pool with Zoe and then just like smashes her face with the fucking sledgehammer.
I really liked that scene though. It was a really stupid scene, but I really liked the killing.
It went on forever.
Just,
like, walking through the water, like, and she was just like, she could have easily got out. Like, she had enough time. Pooh was just like wading through the water, and she's just like, oh my god, like running away, but she could have easily got out of the pool. I don't know. Anyway, she gets her head smashed.
It was pretty satisfying.
It was really cool. Like, he was like swinging at her, and then at the end, he just makes contact.
Yeah, and then they just pick up the other girl and like carry her. Maria and the glasses girl.
Yeah, we were still trying to figure out their names at this point. They hadn't said their names at all yet. Yeah. Like, no one knows each other's names.
Yeah, they follow Pooh and Piglet with one of the lesbians girls.
Oh, we forgot to mention, while she has the gun, she has ample opportunity to kill Pooh several different times.
Yeah, and she just has this gun.
And she just refuses to.
They're just watching.
No.
I would think if you had a stalker and you were, scared enough to get a gun, that you would learn how to use it.
You would learn how to use. I agree with her. I will say they did do a decent job of when she had the opportunity to shoot them when they were like behind the car and they were like dragging. Also, this is apparently really close to the house. I don't know how that happened.
It was like Winnie the Pooh lived in the backyard of this Airbnb. Like, it was right there.
Like,
how did they?
Yeah, maybe that's how he got his victims. I don't know.
It took them like 2 seconds to go from there to Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
And find their friends so easily within all this weird shit.
Well, because when he was dragging, that's how he found them initially, was he was dragging Mary's body. And I really like that scene. When he was dragging Mary's body out after he whipped Christopher Robin and gave him the weird shower.
Yeah.
He's like dragging Mary's body, and then he hears the music, and he perks up. And like, I think they were trying like throughout the movie, but you don't really notice it till the end. Pooh is the ears, and Piglet is the smell. He's the nose. And that's how they find their victims.
True. That one lady.
Because one of the girls that we'll talk about later said something about Piglet smelling
You
her.
could smell me.
And killing everyone else because he could smell everyone else on me. But that's how, like, they're obviously, like, her music wasn't loud. It was just on her phone. And then he, like, drops the body and, like, turns his head and he just does his weird, like, turn thing that he does and then, like, walks away. It was very, like, Michael Myers-esque. I feel like
the whole movie, I was thinking that too. He gave me Michael Myers vibes the entire film.
But, like, the Mimi version, I think.
Like the what?
Almost. Like, the Mimi version, like, the meme.
Oh, Mimi.
Like,
you're describing with the word.
Meme.
You're using meme as an adjective.
Meme. I'm using meme as an adjective. I'm not pronouncing meme as meme. I'm using meme as an adjective, yes. It was like a version of it. It was like the funny parts that you see online of Michael Myers. He's like, I'm going to do that, but we're not going to make it, like, it's not going to be a comedy. It's an actual scary movie. So you couldn't take Pooh seriously.
I get that.
I think you ever really could, but it could have been done better.
Oh, yes. Dear Lord.
So then we cut to Pooh Bear, like, grossly eating honey.
Slurping.
And, oh my god, the fucking song that they play.
They play like 2 or 3 times in the movie.
It just says, that smell, someplace, that smell, someplace. And it's just like, so what? Like,
because the beat of the song is actually a vibe. Like, but then when you're actually listening to it, you're like, what are they saying?
They're just saying the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
They play it like, what, one more time?
Like, yeah, so they played it in a scene before that, but I forget what scene it was.
I think they played it at least 3.
Yeah, they played it 3 times. And it was just like randomly placed within the thing. And then and this is the part where Pooh Bear just fucking slaps the lesbian girl.
Yeah, just like,
and he's just slapping her, and you think she's gonna be like dead, and she's just like not dead. She just has like a little red cheek.
She doesn't even have like a bruise or nothing. Like it's
yeah,
they just
he literally slapped someone's face off.
Like,
yeah,
that was just like petty little pats, I guess, for him. It looked like he was smacking the shit out of her, though. He unlocks.
That he's into BDSM.
Oh, honestly, he like unlocks his true strength
and he's slapping her
as the night progresses. Like Michael Myers in Dead by Daylight, he's tearing up throughout the movie.
He's tearing up.
Hi, baby.
Oh my goodness.
Honestly, though.
Okay. Oh, this is where I found out that the glasses girl was Jessica, apparently, because in my notes I wrote, glasses girl is Jessica. Then they hear someone scream. They hear a lady scream, and they find Christopher Robin all tied up in the cabin or whatever.
Yeah, and the whole time we're like, who's the girl screaming? Why does Christopher Robin sound like a girl?
Yeah.
This scene was stupid.
Yeah, it was stupid. They literally just go there, and they untie Christopher Robin, and then he's like, "Just leave, go get her, go save her," because they hear the
yeah, they brought her this morning. Like what?
Yeah, they brought her in this morning. Like
he did a lot of damage for one day. I will say that.
Yeah. So then he just tells them to leave, and then they go and they find this random girl tied up, this older lady tied up with chains, and they don't untie her right away. They're just like talking to her. And she kind of like says stuff about Pooh and Piglet about how they.
That's another thing.
They contradict it because they say that. She says that they talk broken English, and then she turns around and says, "Oh no, Piglet only grunts," or something.
Yeah,
like
girl says they call themselves Pooh and Piglet. They talk in broken English, but like the original, like the origin story says they refuse to talk. They decide they're never going to talk.
Yeah.
And then he says, "Oh," and then she's like, "Well, Piglet doesn't talk at all."
Yeah, because she's like, "Oh, did you talk to them then?" And she said, "No, Piglet just grunted at me or something."
Yeah.
So it's like, why would you say they talk in broken English?
So, and how do you know their name? Like, I don't know. It was weird.
There were so many contradictions in the dialogue of this whole film.
Movie, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like they would film a piece and they'd be like, "Oh shoot, this would sound better." So then they would like change it, but then they wouldn't refilm it.
And it doesn't really like. Okay, so Christopher Robin says, oh, they brought her here this morning or whatever. But then she makes it sound like she's known them for she's known Pooh and Piglet for a long time because she's like, then goes and she looks in the mirror and she sees her face is all fucked up and she's like,
Yeah.
oh my God. And then she's like, Piglet,
Yeah.
Piglet, I'm gonna
Like, she
kill
has a
you. Or she
vendetta
doesn't say
against
that, but she's
Piglet.
like, you know, like screaming Piglet like she's gonna fucking kill them, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She wants to kill them. So it's like, has she been tied up for longer? Like, did Chris just think that she got dragged there this morning? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just stupid. And then she takes the gun from Maria.
Yeah, like Maria didn't have the gun. Maria left the gun on the platform with Sporty Spice at first.
Yeah.
And then we're like, did she pick up the gun? And we're like, oh, we don't think so. And then all of a sudden she just has the gun randomly again.
Yeah, and her and Piglet are like dancing, not dancing, but like stepping around the fire, like and then she finally decides to shoot him, and the gun does. No, she fires off the random bullet. Remember?
Yeah.
Like before Piglet shows up, she
She's
randomly
like, "Piglet!"
shoots. She's like Piglet, and then she shoots, and then Piglet shows up. And then they dance around the fire. They like step around the fire, and then she tries to shoot again, and the gun like
locks up.
jams or something.
Yeah. It's supposed to be a jam, but they actually put in a sound where there was no bullets left.
Right.
But they're like, the gun broke.
Like an empty
And I'm like,
chamber,
okay.
I swear.
Yeah.
And then Pooh comes up behind her, puts her down on the ground, pours honey on her face, and then Piglet eats her face.
Yep.
So then that character's just dead. Another woman, mind you, like
It's like when you take fried chicken, you put a little honey on it.
every
Delicious.
single person in this movie that dies is a fucking woman.
Fact.
Like no,
Well,
Christopher
except-
Robin doesn't
except
die.
the
He's
group
the
of
only
men.
man in this movie, and he doesn't die.
There were the 4 at the
Oh yeah,
truck,
okay.
but
Yeah.
they just kind of got in the way. He wasn't planning to kill them. They could have walked away.
They were standing up for a woman. Yeah. Like, I'm going to be a woman saver.
What are you doing to
Yeah.
these little
Yeah.
girls? Yeah, they kept saying shit like that.
Oh, but this part, okay, I take that back because then this part, the lesbian girl, she fucking ties up Piglet and she's fucking
Yeah, because she
Fuck
finds
him
a
up.
sledgehammer that just happens to be there. There's a bunch of very, like, well-placed, convenient weapons.
But Piglet does have the sledgehammer most of the time, so maybe she just got it from him.
Well, it was
Like,
right
once
next
they
to
tied
them
him up.
because they
Yeah.
like ran away, and she like cowered instead of
Yeah.
running with them, and so Pooh's going after them, and Piglet, I don't know what he's eating the face off this girl, and she just
But then-
turns, and she's like, "Oh, there's the sledgehammer that Piglet usually has." It was weird
Yeah. So how did she get Piglet tied up? I don't remember.
because she hits him with a sledgehammer.
Oh,
She gets the
hits him with
sledgehammer and comes up, sneaks up behind him, and goes whap.
Okay, but then it cuts to the part where Maria and the glasses girl is getting chased, and they randomly have the fire, and then they just like drop the fire and run away.
Yeah, there's randomly a stick, and like Pooh's just like smacking at it, like he's scared of it.
So then, Piglet's tied up, and the lesbian is hitting Piglet with the hammer and kills Piglet.
We think so, but it's not
And he was
confirmed.
like squealing and shit.
They don't show him all smashed in. They spent too much
Yeah.
money on that mask to fuck it up.
It's gotta be there for the sequel, you know.
But then Pooh hears Piglet getting murdered and goes back and
hmm
takes the lesbian girl, does a Michael Myers Halloween and
Mhm.
stabs her in the face and pins her
Yeah.
to the fucking
Tree.
tree with the machete. So
It's almost like the actor was like, "You know who I want to be? Michael Myers. How do I do this? I'm gonna be Pooh." Like,
but it's weird how she has this like empowering moment where she's like killing Piglet and then right away she just gets murdered. Like
yeah, she just gets murdered. Like
It's
she
just
has this
like,
empowering moment, like,
what the
"This
fuck?"
is for hurting my friends. This is for hurting, this
Yeah.
is for hurting the love of my life." We did forget to mention that she ended up saying "I
she
love
gets
you" to
murdered
her.
like right away. Like I could
Yeah.
see if she was the final girl, like that would have been cool.
Yeah,
like-
but no, like she immediately gets murdered.
She just immediately gets brutally murdered.
How did Sporty Spice drag Piglet, who's easily at least twice her body weight, all the way across the yard, tied this motherfucker up, well,
In like less than 2 seconds too.
and then them sledgehammers, man, those things are hefty. I struggled to like swing those bad boys. No
Yeah.
wonder she had to tap him like 5 times, but my arms would have been sore from dragging this large man across the yard as well. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just felt like that was kind of
But
goofy.
she kept making a comment about that. She's like, you know those chains? You know what they've been used for. And I was like, what? Did you catch that?
Yeah. Dialogue issues.
There's so much dialogue issues, and that's what makes me go back to, I don't think it was bad acting. I think it was bad writing.
That's the thing. Even as an actor, though, like, I would have said,
bad.
what if I said this instead?
We didn't do
know?
that.
Like,
Poor actors. But then Pooh Bear chases. I don't even like saying Pooh Bear. Fucking Michael Myers Pooh
absurd.
Bear fucking chases Maria and
Pooh Myers.
girl with glasses.
Jessica.
Yeah.
It's always the
And
glasses character, you know?
They run into the woods and they meet the 4 guys. that
Yeah, there's just a car in the road in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, one of the guys was the guy from the gas station, but the other 3 guys we never seen before. I don't know their names. They don't really say.
It's
I think they say their names.
Corey.
Cole Travis?
Travis, yeah.
And what was the one? I don't remember. It was something
Like
else.
some
Like,
hillbilly names.
yeah. Yeah, they all were.
So then Do you guys have how they were murdered? The
So
guy gets his face slapped.
Bitch slap.
I
The
wrote
other guy gets like stomped or something.
Head stomped in
Like-
after getting his hand, like, punched off.
karate chop.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this part I was pretty much like just out of it. Like I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't.
I was like,
I don't remember how they died. I just remember one of the guys gets murdered by bees.
like the locusts or
Who's, like-
something?
Yeah, Pooh, like,
yeah.
so did
It's like
you see...
honeybees.
Is that what it was?
Honeybees.
Bees?
When
They looked weird.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were ugly bees.
Yeah.
Did you see when all the girls are in the house and they find the writing and they're like, Pooh's trying to get in and he's like looking in the window and stuff, and then they just like show a scene of Pooh just like standing there and there's like bees surrounding Pooh.
Oh.
Did you guys notice that?
They don't
elaborate on it. Like Pooh like waved his hand and like bees were just like doing what he said, I guess. Like if I was the bee and he's
I think I zoned out at that
So
point.
the bees just like murder this. Yeah.
Yeah.
He controls bees at one point, but they don't use it at all.
That would have been cool to see him like control honeybees at some other point other
I don't
than
know
like
how he does.
They would've
Like,
go
used it
attack
more.
this
you would
man.
think the honeybees would be pissed at him for stealing their honey, but you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Wasn't he always enemy of the state of bees here?
I did put a funny pun. I said, Pooh takes a beating, and then he kills them all with his bare hands.
He did like let them hit him a few times. They're pretty good.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
They
do.
got some good swings in with weapons.
Because they were like, you gonna gang up on some girls? Like, they did kind of insinuate, because they're like, man, them girls were really scared. Like, what did he do to them?
Yeah.
And so they're like, we're gonna beat your ass. And like, he like hits him with a crowbar, and then his like neck cracked. Pooh's
I
dead.
heard
You
that
hear
too.
And they were like, oh shit, he's tough.
Again, Michael Myers.
The lines that these guys were given were trash. Like, they were not good trash talk.
Yeah.
It was horrible. And like, so then Pooh comes up and he takes, so at this point, the girls drive off. I was at the wrong scene. The girls drive off in the car because they're like, oh crap, all these guys just died. And they run over Pooh in the truck that they stole, basically. And Stevie said something about, he's going to climb up in the back. He's going to climb up on there. And what's he do?
They
Climbs
run him
up in the
over?
back. Yeah, they ran him over.
Oh. I guess
With the truck. Because that was when Stevie was like, where's he? Like, they're like, where is he at?
I just remember him in the back of the truck. Like, just,
That's how he got in the back of the truck, is they ran him over and he somehow ends
I
up
said
in the
that
back
too.
of
I
the
was like,
truck.
don't do that, you idiots.
Yeah. Just run away. So then she just slams on the brakes because he's like trying to climb up on the windshield and stuff.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're in this big car wreck somehow, and she's super bloody for no reason. Because she just slammed on the brakes. Like, she didn't do anything.
True. They didn't even hit a tree or nothing.
And like, it was like the weird sound of like the staticky sound, and like she was out of sorts,
She was
and
coming to or whatever.
she was like coming to, and she looks over and her best friend is being yanked out of the car by Pooh. I did like, this was probably my favorite killing. I was going to ask you guys what your favorite killings were. This was mine.
But they didn't show it, though.
No, but
They
it was
just
my
showed her with the-
absolute favorite.
They just showed her head. Like, they
Because
didn't
literally
show him actually decapitating
he
her, though.
yanks her out, goes in front of the vehicle, and like you can't see her, you don't know what's going on, and then all of a sudden he just lifts her head to show. Like,
There's just a head suddenly.
I guess that, yeah, I guess.
he's very like,
Yeah.
what can I do to cause the most pain to these people?
Yeah.
Like psychological pain. And that's like what he did. He showed her, like, she couldn't see her friend being killed, but she could see the result of it. And like, I don't know. And then he throws her head at the windshield and
And then she turns on the windshield wiper.
Yeah, then she turns on the windshield wipers because she freaks out. Like, could you imagine? That would be. I could not imagine my best friend getting yanked out of a vehicle and then me windshield wipering her head.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then Christopher Robin shows up.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
Pooh Bear. Or no, she gets out of Maria gets out of the car, right? And then he's like holding her head against the.
Yeah, he's holding her
side of
head
the-
against the thing. She's
the
gonna
truck.
die. Like, she's about to die.
And then Christopher Robin comes
out of nowhere. And with the truck.
Pooh into the thing and somehow doesn't injure Maria at all.
Yeah.
She just gets away.
That's another thing. It was almost, to me, like this movie, it was like, we want this scene. We want Christopher Robin to smash Pooh with a truck. Like, it was like they really were determined to get this scene out. And they were like, how do we do that? Well, first we have to save Christopher Robin. So the girls have to randomly hear him scream, or hear a girl scream, and then go in there and randomly find him to, like, get him out. And then they have to, like, leave him randomly so he could come back later as a hero thing.
Yeah.
It was like they were determined to get this scene out so much that it almost ruined the movie. Like, the movie was ruined anyway, but
There wasn't much to save.
there wasn't much to save, but they could, like, they were so determined for this scene that they completely bypassed all potential scenes that could have been way better.
Yeah. So then Christopher Robin goes up to Maria and he's like, you're Maria, right? But they never exchanged names.
Yeah, but they never gave her names.
Whoever said.
They never exchanged names.
That was so funny. I was like, I think one of you guys pointed it out that they never exchanged names. It was so
Yeah, I was like, wait, they've never even talked. And, like, they never even spoke. She just, like, walked up to him and was, like, gently trying to, like, caress his face or something. And he, like, wakes up and they scare each other. But that's it. They never say, oh, I'm Maria. Like,
And then Pooh just like pushes the fucking truck off of himself like nothing.
Oh yeah, just pushes it away lightly.
Yeah, that was so funny.
Yeah.
The explosion
Comes up-
comes
Is it
at the
burning
most
at this point?
convenient moment. Yeah, it was on
Yeah,
fire
where
that
does it-
whole time while he was asleep. I'm
Oh,
like,
it was on fire.
the car's on fire. It's gonna explode. Quit fucking exchanging names and let's go, guys.
He pulls the truck off of himself and then has a knife randomly, which I don't know how the fuck he got a knife. But
Yeah,
then he
pulled it out of his fucking ass.
grabs Maria.
And then he
Yeah.
cleans it off. I love that he
I
cleaned
don't-
off his
He did,
knife.
too.
Yeah, he can't.
It was a little muddy.
So he grabs Maria.
Mm.
Chris is pleading.
Like, you saved. Like, they're having this whole conversation, and Pooh's just standing there holding Maria, just, like, letting them have it.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry I left. Blah, blah, blah. Like, whatever. Pleading for him to not kill Maria. And then he just says,
He's like, take me, take me. Like, he's, like,
the
he
only
pleaded
words
more.
he ever says, Pooh Bear
Yeah.
says, you
You
left.
left.
And then he just slits Maria's fucking throat.
I did like this
Throws
scene,
them
too.
into Chris's arms.
Yeah.
And Chris is just like crying over her more than his dead fiance.
Yeah.
Like that he literally didn't even mourn at all for.
No.
Not until he got fucking showered in her juices. Like her
Ew.
strange bodily soup juice. That's the best I can describe that.
Yeah.
He seemed a little upset there.
Yeah, but it was more upset, like, that he was being
Oh, yeah.
showered with guts versus, like, oh, that's my
Yeah. He was
wife.
I would have been a little
Yeah.
grossed out, yeah. That could not have smelled good.
But it,
I will say, you said something about the smell, and then when they went in to find Christopher Robin, the girl, two of the girls, like, held their noses. They're like, ugh. So I was like, I'm glad they put that in at least.
It gotta be
That would
stanky in
stink.
that slaughterhouse, man. Oof, slaughterhouses do not smell good. I can't even imagine being in like a human slaughterhouse. Human blood's stanky, man. Just saying.
Yeah. Wait, how do you know how human blood smells like?
Yes.
We're not gonna get into that.
Stevie,
Oh,
what do you have in
Anyway.
your basement?
Come over and see, Mitchell.
So that's what that smell is wafting over to my house. Dead bodies from Stevie's house.
That's right. That's right.
We're joking. We're joking.
Yeah. No, I swear, no.
Cops to show up at your house.
No, I'll have to go see my like dirty, messy basement.
Yeah. I really liked this death scene though with Maria. How like, because the whole time I'm like, when's he gonna talk? They're gonna have a dramatic scene and Pooh's gonna talk. I was like waiting for it the whole movie, and they finally did. I liked the way that they did this part. I mean, it was like Steve and I were both like, oh my god, they just killed.
Yeah, I didn't think she was gonna die. Honestly,
I thought they were both gonna make it. Or that I thought Christopher was gonna like sacrifice himself, and Pooh was gonna be like, humans aren't okay, and then like let her go or something stupid.
Yeah, because he was saying like, take me, and then she was like, no.
They didn't really give us an ending. They just kind of were like, all right, budget's gone, cut it.
Yeah, it was just like Chris runs away, and then
did he run away?
Pooh just starts stabbing Maria more.
Yeah,
yeah,
because she's like, go.
Yeah,
and he walks away, and then he stood there crying again.
And then Pooh just starts like stabbing Maria.
But he kept crying.
So we can assume
I didn't see him run again.
Away.
It cuts to the like random fucking like spinal cord or whatever.
Oh, that's right. It was like showing us all the dead shit.
Yeah, and then it comes back to him stabbing her, right? Or something.
Yeah.
And then it just ends.
Yeah.
So
there was no survivors. We didn't get attached to any of these.
Well, Christopher Robin's a survivor.
We think Christopher Robin survived.
Yeah.
Maybe.
He'll be back in the sequel.
If there is
watch the sequel, guys?
Obviously.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's get into what this guy's going to do next, because I know Stevie has a couple choice words for this.
This fella.
Oh, Lord. AI could have done it better.
So, apparently he has a whole shared universe planned for this Pooh Bear thing. He's got a sequel for Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey planned. And he's also got 2 more movies. Bambi the Reckoning and Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare.
I think the Peter Pan one could be cool. I just really hope, like, he's going to have a lot of people really pissed at him if he does it wrong. If he does not do Peter Pan justice.
Oh, he's going to do it wrong. I mean...
Bambi, though?
I hope not.
We just watched the worst movie that I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
I don't know. I watched one... I think I watched one that's worse. We might have to add that one to the podcast list.
What is it?
I'm going to keep it a secret. And it'll be a surprise episode.
Alright.
But, yeah. This was actually a fairly kind of short movie. But it seemed to drag on. There's so many scenes. 80 minutes? Yeah.
It felt long as fuck. Like, much longer than
it did
to be.
Yeah.
84 minutes.
I kept thinking, when is this going to be over?
Yeah. They could have taken half the scenes out and then just put character building, or even put more gore. Like, if it was supposed to be a slasher film, there wasn't much slashing going on. There was just random scenes of, like, that was supposed to be story building that did no story building at all whatsoever.
You had no attachment to any. There was no character development.
No
emotion. Like, and it's like they attempted to let us get to know these characters, but they really didn't give us anything to go off of.
No, like, they could have spent the time of the whole scene at the gas station to talk more about, like, the fear that Maria had when she was being stalked. But, like, they didn't even give any plot to that. They're just like, I was stalked and I found him in my house. Okay, like, there was no, like, I was terrified and I couldn't sleep for weeks, and there was none of that. Like, and her friends were just like, that must be so hard. Like, literally, that's what they said. And then it was over. Then they just didn't talk about it again.
They didn't talk about it at all.
No.
Doesn't give a shit.
So, all in all, would you guys recommend this movie?
If you want a shitty movie, yes. To watch with friends as like a stupid, we're gonna watch a shitty movie together.
Yeah.
Fine. To watch as like, oh, I want to watch a good horror movie, or like I want to be entertained, like by myself. No, absolutely not.
For me, there's plenty of other really stupid B movies, horror movies that I would probably say are more entertaining than this.
Yeah.
Like,
would you watch it again? I mean, you've already watched it twice, Mitch.
I know. I don't know why I watched it twice. It was horrible.
I
was dreading
would
watching it a second time. It's so bad.
I can't imagine.
I would watch it again.
If I wouldn't watch it again by myself. That's
No.
for sure. The only reason I watched it the second time is because I had to watch it with you guys.
Yeah, you done fucked up.
Like, it's not one of those movies that like a lot happens, so you have to watch it again just to see like you wanted to watch it twice so you could like really know the movie. You wouldn't have had to on this movie. You just kind of know what happens. Like,
I would go as far as saying there's no reason to rewatch this at all. Like,
I will agree with that. I would want to watch it to like make other people suffer. Be like, let's watch this movie. It's really good, and then like it really sucks, and they like hate you for it. Just to watch them be like, this is the stupidest movie I've ever seen.
But then I think your friends would just hate you.
It's okay.
If I went to my friends and they're like, let's watch this movie, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, I'd be like,
we're not friends anymore.
No.
I'm gonna kill you.
I want to like, we should make like a tier list as we watch movies and like add movies to it, like A tier, S tier, B tier, and all that stuff, you know? I would honestly like put this movie in my brain right now. I'm like compartmentalizing movies, and I would put this movie at the very far bottom. I don't even know what that would be, like E or something, or F, whatever, with like Zombievers and Rubber. Like, it's that level shit. Like, it's so not worth watching.
We are watching Rubber on this podcast.
No,
it is on
don't
the
put
list.
Me through that again.
We're watching it.
Dear God.
Wait, which one? Zombievers?
Rubber.
Oh, yeah.
And
Rubber. It was the first on the list. I haven't seen it either.
Zombievers is good. Zombievers is hilarious.
See, like,
Slaughterhouse? We gotta watch Slaughterhouse.
I do want to watch Slaughterhouse. I'll give you that. I would like to see that.
Yeah.
We have a long list of movies that we are going to watch.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, come on. This is the shitty horror podcast.
I can't sit through another B movie.
Like, you could not.
We got to do a couple of good movies first, and then go back to another B movie because I just this movie.
I'm ready for
so painful.
I completely agree. Like, I need something.
I didn't think it was that bad, honestly.
We need to watch like a classic or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I just like shitty movies. I'm not much of a movie watcher. So.
Oh, we will watch more shitty movies. Trust me.
Oh yeah.
We have to, but I just need a little bit of a break.
Right.
Watching Pooh Bear twice.
That's
rough on your mental sanity. Yeah. Like in The Sims, right now, his like fun meter is down here.
His fun meter's down.
He's gonna start seeing the bunny here soon.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to play some computer games.
Watch some fun TV or something.
Play with some toys. I don't know. I don't know what he does for fun. What his sim does.
Fun. I watch horror movies.
I'll watch horror movies. Well, we're gonna have to find a better one because this one was not fun.
I need to read a good fan fiction after this.
Read a good fan fiction.
Yeah.
Some Pooh Bear, the Pooh fan fiction.
No. I'm going to get off and read some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle angst to wind down.
There you go. There you go.
I'm probably gonna watch some Pretty Little Liars.
Mitchell, I love you.
I love that show. It's my favorite.
Do you know how it ends?
So
have you like seen the show before?
No. I don't know. I don't know anything. We're on episode 14.
The first season?
Yeah. And I don't know who A is yet, and it's like killing me.
Listen,
I want to know.
You're not gonna know for a long time.
Yeah.
Who A is?
Yeah.
I think they say it at the end of the season, don't they?
Do they? No, I didn't think so. I don't think
so. I think it drags on forever and ever and ever.
Yeah.
No, I think there's multiple A's though. That's what
that could be. Because I never actually watched the show, but Mickey, like once in a while, we shared a bedroom for so many years growing up that I happened to only start paying attention at the very series finale. So I know who all these shits are.
Yeah.
Wild. Good luck with that. Have fun. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
That's it, guys.
that's it. It's
I
been
think
an
we're
hour and
done.
44
That's our
minutes.
first episode.
I think that's a wrap.
Well,
We need an outro.
I think this is
If anyone wants to
Oh.
come out with a cool outro, that would
yeah,
be
if anybody's
fantastic.
got any musical experience, I don't know if we'll be able to pay you, but well, maybe we can scrap some money together.
I'm a
for
broke
you.
hoe.
Give us a
Yeah.
little intro song, a little outro song, you know.
You know,
Maybe
if
next
we
month when
ever-
I'm in Vegas, I'll win a bunch, and then I'll
There
pay.
you go.
Need some,
I'll donate
All right.
to our cause.
yeah.
Maybe we
Donate
get
to
some
the
good
cause.
backgrounds.
I'm gonna come back broker
Yeah.
than when I left, though. I'm telling you that much.
We need an outro. Someone give us an outro.
Bye.
Portagooey's out.
Oh,
Peace
bye.
out. Piper
Peace.
saying bye. Everybody saying bye. Deuces.
Bye.
See you
Bye.
next week.